Hello and welcome to Laytechs Weekly, episode 31st March 2021. Laytechs Weekly is brought to you by Laytechs, your protection from tech ignorance. My name is Sean. This week's news of the week: Apple announced WWDC 2021 online only. It's happening on the 7th of June and it will be another virtual event. Seeing as how they were the only ones who actually nailed the virtual event last year, you wouldn't be surprised that Apple isn't hesitating to do it again. It'll probably be their last for a while, since they did build a spaceship campus with the massive hall for a reason. And they love for people to have that hands-on session right after their unveil. So due to COVID, they're going to probably do it just one more year just to, be on the safe side. This year, we are expecting new updates to their operating systems across all devices, new Macs and MacBooks, and possibly, stretching the limit of imagination here, possibly even their VR or AR devices. There is a very slim chance that this will come out, but I'm putting it here because there is a chance, so that's going to count for something. The new iPad Pro may not be announced in WWDC because many leaks have been saying it will be announced in April instead. So it will come out ahead of WWDC. Unless they change their mind last minute. So more updates and details as the news evolves. Spotify launching Clubhouse competitor. The Clubhouse domain competition is stiffening, and every single company in the world wants a piece of the Clubhouse pie. And at this point, Clubhouse is the only one that seems to be losing their footing. On top of Facebook and Twitter and Slack's impending launch and LinkedIn's impending launch of their own version of Clubhouse, Spotify just announced that they will also be doing the same. Makes sense since Spotify has been investing heavily on podcasts of late, and live audio chat rooms are just kind of like an evolutionary or a forked version of podcasting. Spotify jumped into this race by acquiring Betty Labs, the company behind the live sports audio app Locker Room. As a result of this purchase, Locker Room will still remain operational, but there are speculations that, I guess it's not speculation, it's like something that will naturally happen, which is where Spotify will use the technology to build a Clubhouse competitor. Google Meet unlimited calls extend until June. Users of Google Meet rejoice. Their 60-minute limit for the free tier will not be implemented until June of this year. Google, along with other video calling companies, allow users unlimited call time since about March or April last year to accommodate for the prolonged lockdowns due to COVID. Seeing as markets and borders will reopen soon, it makes sense that the limits be re-implemented again by Q3 of this year. We just hope that it will not be extended because it will mean that we can't travel yet. So removing the limit means that we can now travel, which is good. LinkedIn is working on a Clubhouse clone. I briefly talked about that. I feel that there is no longer a need to report things like these on Clubhouse clones, but yet it is something I need to do because it's like the hottest news these days. Yes, LinkedIn is also coming out with a Clubhouse clone based on the screenshots by The Verge. Even the layout is eerily similar to Clubhouse. There are speaker bubbles at the top section, followed by listener bubbles, and at the footer are commands like leave room, raise hand emoji, and an extra being the message button. So it seems that at this point, all the Clubhouse clones will be implementing message buttons, message functionalities, except for Clubhouse. Leaked Surface Laptop 4 news isn't that good. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Let's see. You decide. According to leaks going around in Twitter by a few reporters and benchmarkers, Surface Laptop 4 will not come with the latest Ryzen chips. Instead, benchmark tests revealed possibly an old Ryzen 7 4000 instead of the 5000. Intel variants, however, will come with the Tiger Lake U models, which is the newest models. It's a bit weird to see Microsoft opt for these configurations, considering Surface laptops aren't exactly entry level. They are pretty premium in terms of price, right? They're like XPS and MacBook level pricing. There is also a speculation that these models are actually Ryzen chips that have been custom made for Microsoft. So Microsoft, because they need time to custom build or kind of like customize the Ryzen chips, they probably took last year's model and then they improved on it instead of taking this year's model to improve, which means that they may not have enough time to do it. So either way, Microsoft cannot possibly let their ball down against Apple's M1 chips. So they need to double up. They need to double down on providing a properly competitive laptop that can take on Apple's MacBooks. If not, they are probably going to lose a lot of their market share and all that. There is Tech of the Week this week. Virgin Galactic unveils VSS Imagine. Just yesterday, Virgin's suborbital space traveling company unveiled their next generation aircraft. Okay, Virgin is a big company that has a lot of stuff. Telco, they used to have music record companies. They have a music media company. They have an aircraft company. Not aircraft. It's a plane company. No, airline company. Yes, airline is the word. They have an airline company called Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Air, depending on which part of the world you're from. So they have started this thing called Virgin Galactic, which is an airline company that brings passengers to suborbital height, which is you haven't reached the space orbit, but you left it far enough to be able to see the darkness of space and stars and all that kind of stuff. So they have been working on this for many years, and this new model, which they call the VSS Imagine, it's based on updated version of their Spaceship 2. It's called the Spaceship 3, this one. It has a modular design which can make reflights ready, which can make them more ready for reflights and make it like turn around faster. So why they're doing this is because they want to have the planes go up and come down and have all the panels swapped over so that they can go on the next flight as soon as possible. Whereas compared to the second generation, where it's not modular, so these changes take a long time. So that means it will take a longer time for them to prep for the next flight. It's a move to eventually make suborbital flights more affordable, because the more turnarounds, the shorter the turnaround, the more money they can make. Then they can actually spread out their fixed costs, and eventually the tickets will get lower. But affordable is actually a very relative term, seeing as a ticket now costs around 250,000 American dollars for a 90-minute flight. Let that sink in for a while. Virgin is still running flight tests, with a full passenger flight estimated to start at 2022. If you are interested to book a flight, you can register your interest at virgingalactic.com. Bring me along, please. That's all for this week's Laytechs Weekly. Laytechs Weekly is available on Anchor FM, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and I post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Laytechs Weekly episode 31, 31st March 2021. My name is Sean. See you next week and stay safe. Au revoir.